What is up, guys? It is Marcus from Perspective Sports, and today we'll be discussing Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott and why I feel like they haven't paid him yet. And Dak Prescott's had unlikely early success in his career, and I say that because he was drafted in the fourth round, 135th overall, and was the seventh quarterback taken in that draft. You had Jared Goff go first, Carson Wentz go second, Paxton Lynch go 26th. You had Christian Hackenberg go 51st, Jacoby Brissett go 91st. Then you had Cody Kessler go 93, and Connor Cook go number 100. And when you think about it, and what I've been able to read, that Dak Prescott wasn't even the Cowboys' first option. They wanted Paxton Lynch and Connor Cook, but when they couldn't trade up for him, they settled for Dak Prescott. The Dallas Cowboys didn't expect Dak Prescott to play much, if at all, during his first couple of years, but an injury to Tony Romo in the preseason forced the decision between Dak Prescott, Kellen Moore, and Jamil Showers. Dak Prescott would win that battle and become the team's starter. And long story short, he and Ezekiel Elliott would lead the team to a 13-3 record. Dak Prescott would throw 23 touchdowns, 3,667 passing yards, with a completion percentage of 67.8%, and only throw 4 interceptions, which is huge, especially for a rookie. He was drafted in the middle rounds. That's a big deal. Since then, Dak Prescott has been a high mid-tier caliber starter. He's definitely a starter, definitely a franchise quarterback. And I would compare him to a Matt Ryan or a Kirk Cousins. They're capable guys. They can explode for a game or for a stretch of games. They won't lose you a game per se. They're steady as she goes. And if you give pieces around them, they'll produce. But the difference is Matt Ryan has a 5-year, $150 million deal with $100 million guaranteed. And Kirk Cousins has a 3-year, $84 million deal fully guaranteed. But Dak Prescott, here he is in the final year of his 4-year, $2.7 million deal with no extension. And this is truly unprecedented because teams go out of their way to make sure they have their quarterback of the future, even if that means overpaying a little bit. And here we are with Dak Prescott, a good guy, good face of the franchise, no off the field trouble. He's in the midst of a career season in touchdown passes, completions, and yards per game while leading the league in drops. Think about that. Touchdown passes, completions, and yards per game while leading the league in drops, but he's not on the roster and there's no extension in place after this season. There are reports that Dak Prescott turned down a $30 million deal from the Dallas Cowboys, which would put him about tied for 5th amongst current quarterbacks, which is very fair for Dak Prescott. But Yahoo's reporting there's been little contact between both sides, and that can be attributed to the season. They figured if we don't get it done by this date, we'll just put it off to the end of the season and we'll figure it out then. But there's also another theory that I've been kicking around that I don't think's been getting enough attention, and that's maybe the Dallas Cowboys think there's better options than Dak Prescott. And before you get mad, allow me to explain. The Dallas Cowboys may feel that he's a product of the system. Remember, when they went 13-3, Ezekiel Elliott lit the world on fire, rushed for 1,631 yards, 470 more yards than the next closest person. He also led the league in carries per game. And then the next season, Ezekiel Elliott only plays in 10 games. They go from 13-3 to 9-7. Dak Prescott throws 343 less passing yards, 1 less touchdown, but 9 more interceptions, having to throw the ball more. His completion percentage also dropped from 67.8 to 62.9. And it really showed the difference of having Zeke and not having Zeke. And then last year, the Cowboys' offense without Dez Bryant, Jason Witten, and Terrence Williams stalled. Dak Prescott didn't look very good, and then they bring in Amari Cooper, and boom, the offense is rejuvenated. The Dallas Cowboys may feel that Dak Prescott's only as good as what you put around him. And looking at that information, they may have said, the most we're willing to pay Dak is $30 million, so if he doesn't take it, we just move on. We can look at a guy in the draft, maybe Jake Fromm. We've got a Jacob Eason. Maybe, I wouldn't say Tua Tagovailoa, but they could draft Tua Tagovailoa and sign a veteran to hold over and be a bridge quarterback, and that would still be cheaper than Dak Prescott. And then we look at the free agency market that has a guy named Teddy Bridgewater in it. He could still be very much cheaper than Dak Prescott and also be just as productive. We saw Teddy Bridgewater this year. He was phenomenal. And the rosters of the Dallas Cowboys and the New Orleans Saints offensively isn't all that much different. They both have really good running backs. Dallas has Ezekiel Elliott, one of the top running backs in the league, and Alvin Kamara, who's really good and can be considered one of the top running backs in the league. They have Michael Thomas, arguably the best wide receiver in the league. And then the Cowboys have Amari Cooper. The Cowboys have a better offensive line, but the Saints' offensive line is a respectable group too. And then the defenses, they're both good defenses. And so Teddy Bridgewater can plug right into Dallas and probably be just as good, if not better. The difference between the two teams is coaching. And the Dallas Cowboys are likely going to change their coaches anyway this year. And so when you look at this, they could probably see, we can draft a guy and just in case sign a bridge quarterback, or we can go out and get Teddy Bridgewater. It will save money on the quarterbacks, and boom, we'll be able to continue to pay our players because guess what? The Cowboys have been on a spending spree. They spent $185.5 million in guarantees in 2019. They paid DeMarcus Lawrence and Lael Collins, and then paid Ezekiel Elliott and Jalen Smith early. They cut in line. They jumped ahead of Dak. And that can only happen if the Cowboys think that Dak Prescott is going to eventually cave in and come on at a bargain at about $30 million a year. Or they're just going to move on. We're going to draft a guy. They still got to re-sign Amari Cooper. So we're going to just draft a guy. We're going to spend the money on Amari Cooper and just give the guy a bunch of weapons and see what he does. Or we bring in Teddy Bridgewater. We're going to save money on the quarterback, re-sign Amari Cooper, and boom, the ship continues to sail. And so that's a theory as to maybe what's happening with the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott. Maybe they don't feel that he's the guy of the future and he's not worth paying $33 to $40 million for when they can go out and get somebody just as good or somebody who's not as good but can continue to sail the ship for a much cheaper price. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I look forward to seeing it. See you there.